Wait,
Aleo, Aleo. Mai,
wow.
buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Wow,
Wow.
wow. Yeah,
Congratulazioni. Congratulations,
congratulations,
Fiji.
Fiji.
Wow. What a game.
Wow.
What a game by them.
I didn't see the game, unfortunately, but I'm sure I'm going to rewatch it during the upcoming week. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about the game. Until now, it's the game of the weekend. And then
Yeah.
we'll jump into Italy.
Where to start? I mean, as to give credit to Fiji, they played really well, but England were poor. I think Dylan Hartley hit the nail on the head. I think there's just lack of clarity what they're trying to achieve. There's a lot of nothing runs with little support, getting turned over really easily. That's pretty much the story of the tape, to be honest, mate. Like Fiji, played really well. They defended when they needed to defend, and they took their opportunities, and England didn't. That's it. But yeah, Fiji, good on you guys. I think they're going to concern a few teams this World Cup, though. Seeing that,
well, it's going to be the group of death: Fiji, Georgia, Wales, Australia. So let's see what's going to happen with that.
Fiji Georgia would be an interesting game. It'd be interesting to see sort of how Georgia fare against against Scotland today. But yeah, wow. But
thumbs up, Samuele is saying thumbs up. Of course, if you want to join us, put a thumbs up. Let's comment together this game. And how much we're 10 minutes left? 10 minutes for our game?
Give or take, yeah. If you're following the same feed as mine, they've just got Il Munigo on now, so
okay.
So just come up, but yeah, Samuele, wow, I think they've got some quality players. I love Albert. On he's playing blindside today, but he slots in at 8 for Gloucester, and he's been brilliant. London Irish, and
he's playing also 4 or 5 sometimes for Gloucester and for Fiji, which is always good. To have a back row like him.
He's a tough man. And I think actually, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I think Marla's probably gonna have a little conversation with someone.
Okay.
The sighting. I think he was very lucky on one of the tackles. Probably a yellow, but needed to be reviewed. Got missed, but it's all over Twitter now, and I didn't see it. I must admit. But yeah, that looks pretty bad. Simone, hi Simone, how you doing?
Grande Simone, what's the level of this Japan team yesterday? Sorry guys, if somebody was waiting for me for the for YouTube streaming on my channel, but I was super tired. I wasn't ready to show the best for Japan, but we can say a couple of words about Japan. I have just to open one of my classic file to read something in it. But we are almost there. If we spoke about caps, for example, for the game, there is a more experienced first row, because there is Shota Ori with a lot of caps. They have one uncapped player, and then let me just share this so we can give a little bit of insight into Japan team, how they play. This is the team closer to, let's say, to the last game they play, actually against Fiji, where they were playing with 7 players in the field, because Labuschagne was red card for Labuschagne at minute 6, something like that. Was really early in the game. So this is the team against us: Millarorie, Won, Cornelsen, Elu, Leach, Fukui, Imeno, Nagare, Lee, Naikabula, Osada. I really like this player too. Riley, Masirewa, and Matsushima. So these are the players. If we see the last 4 games, the game against Fiji, 7 players were in the field. Against Tonga, 7. Against Samoa, 8. Against All Blacks, 15. So the second team of New Zealand were 9 in the field. So those are pretty similar. We saw the big difference is Cornelsen moving on the number 4. instead of playing at 6 like we saw during this Pacific Cup. And we're speaking about cups in general. Here we are. They have 192 caps from the bench, 137 Italy in this moment. We are pretty close if we have think about 555 caps for Japan, 594 for Italy. But if we see the difference between the front row, the locks, as you can see here, this is the difference of caps. As you can see, we have a really experienced back three, 105 cap, but we have to play this game, right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, 3/4 of that come from a single player.
Yep. As you can see, Matsushima here. They have Masirewa and Nakabula. 4 and 3 for Masirewa and Nakabula. So not a lot of connection, maybe a cohesion into this team. They play this year. They start playing together.
Yeah, I mean, it's a must-win game really for both teams. I think, like in terms of if you want to build positively into the World Cup, it's going to be important. And obviously, you know, we know that we've got a young team, and there's plenty of room for improvement. But actually, you know, we're playing an exciting brand, and there's plenty of room where we can grow into as well, like in terms of actual sort of potential. So it's going to be interesting to see how they front up. Right now, I don't know where you're at, Otto, but I think they're just doing, just about to do the national anthems. Is that where you're at?
Well, I'm opening now my magic file to watch the game, so I'm gonna let you know in 1 second. I see them lined up, ready to sing. Now there is. Oh, I don't know who's this guy. I'm sorry if I'm missing. Who's this guy? That probably is in memory of him. This minute of silence, I think, in the field. Now I'm looking at Crowley and everybody's standing up, Mike. I don't know how far we are into this.
Yeah, so
let's see when the kickoffs start and then we can synchronize.
Yeah, we'll sync there.
Any kind of problem. What expecting from this team, Mike? From our team?
I think we should expect the same from both teams, which is throwing it about. What I'm hoping for is like you said, more cohesion, you know, more accuracy, stuff that, you know, they would have worked in the week because of obviously, you know, how we fared against Romania. So I think that's probably what we'll see, a lot of focus on trying to reduce those ball handling errors. And I think as well, I'm hoping we see sort of you know, slightly cleaner clear out, so we get, you know, recycling the ball nice and quick. We've got Varney, who we know what he can do at his best. We know what he can do at Gloucester. So I'm hoping you know, for a really good performance from Varney. I think he needs the confidence. He's a confidence player, and I think, you know, right now he's probably a little low in confidence. So that's what I'm hoping. And then obviously, like we said with Leo, for those of you guys who haven't listened to it, you know, shape. It's going to be shape from both teams, right?
I loved our shape and their shape. Actually, it's something that it's understand. It's great because if you think a team with a lot of shape, but the capacity to play into the skills to play into the shape was really strong and create upset last World Cup. Let's see what we're gonna create in our impossible group against New Zealand and France. We didn't speak about South Africa for now, but yesterday another masterclass of dominion into the field by the Boks.
Yeah. I mean, like, they just built pressure and kept building pressure, and, you know, it snapped. Like New Zealand snapped, and I think it's going to be, you know, really interesting to see sort of how New Zealand bounce back from it, but also if that's something that, you know, they're going to do basically a full forward switch, you know, at the scrum, because obviously for the first time, at least I've seen in Test rugby, and I know we spoke briefly about it, 7-1 bench. What were your thoughts on that?
7-1, just Kobus Reinach from the bench was the back, and then the number 22 went like Fusco. He went to play wing, like for Mapimpi, like we had Fusco, Ioane. was funny because we are the only two teams with four scrum halves in the squad. But
Yeah,
man, such a masterclass yesterday, and today I'm really looking forward to watch the Fiji game because it's so exciting. I read a lot of excitement around. So let's see when we're gonna start here. In the meantime, Phantom was texting me. Are you live? Oh, okay, sorry. So I was 1 second messaging. Let's wait, Phantom, for a couple of inside. Samuele, Simone, where are you watching the game? Of course, guys, we are on YouTube and on Twitter. So if you don't, we're not speaking with phantoms, with ghosts at the moment. We have people commenting us on our YouTube. You can watch this watch along also on YouTube. I can see Vito. Good evening, people.
good evening, Vito.
Great. So Samuel is asking for some stats about kicking game. They have Matsuda as 9 as 10, which is a really good player. They try different solution with Masirewa. Masirewa usually is the one that drops for the kickoff. Matsushima can cross kick really well, but they are not the best kickers in the world. So hopefully today is gonna be everything for us. Maybe if we kick behind the first line of defense today, we can find some space because sometimes the 9 come into the line and they defend almost a 14-1 in some areas of the field.
Okay,
And
I'm going to get ready to
Mike,
synchronize because I think they're going for the kickoff in a sec.
yeah, so I'm gonna be like now I'm seeing all the Japanese going back and see Italy starting 15 right now. So I'm a little bit behind you. Simone was saying 20 seconds behind your connection, Simone. So we have Nemer, Nicotera, Ferrari, Cannone, Ruzza, and then we have the Negri, Lamaro, and Lorenzo Cannone, Ioane Allan Capozzo in the backfield, Maurice Brex, classic centers, and they are back. Varney Garbisi together. When was last time we saw them? We saw them together. I'm gonna check a little bit. So the Varney Garbisi was against Ireland. We saw them, and then they play against Wales last game together. So we try something different in the last two warm-up game.
I mean, just for you guys who don't know, the conditions are sweltering there by the sounds of things. Right, I've paused ready for you. Just count me down when you see Carl Dixon's hand in the air. I'll click play.
When I saw Carl Dixon, now I see Riley. Now I saw Imeno, really good player. Now I see Crowley. And of course, on the other side, we have John Mitchell. And look, we're almost there. I see them aligned in the field. Oh, come on. I'm looking at Capozzo now.
Yeah, you're close, yeah.
Capozzo that play the majority of the...
Count me down because I think it's going to start in a sec.
Let's see. 3, 2, 1 is whistling. 3, 2, 1 is kicking now. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Here we go.
We're synced. Yeah, we're synced more or less.
Thanks, Mike, for waiting on me.
No, absolutely fine. Hi, Claudio. By the way, we were just trying to synchronize the stream.
Claudio, hi, welcome from Sicily, Claudio. Capozzo, the classic, Claudio. Also the classic of our podcast because we want to do something. Always remembering that great game with Capozzo and Padovani scoring at the end.
Yeah,
so
something
30 seconds.
Personifies quite nicely the Italian movement and this new Italy.
Okay, 17-11. We're even, Mike. You can say.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be more. Well, I think the boys probably just want to get one more lead and one more sort of converted score ahead, and might be able to sort of settle nerves a little bit. Hot day there though. Hot day there.
Real day, but so we saw everything from Italy, everything we want to see, and stuff that we don't want to see after this halftime.
Yeah.
Mike, I think
let's talk about the game so far. Obviously, let's start with like I suppose the negatives, like Neymar. Obviously, I think all eyes on the medical bulletin, which will be out probably Monday, Tuesday on him. didn't look too bad. He walked himself off, and I think, if there's any risk, we probably would have, wrapped him up in bubble wrap. And you saw Marco put an ice pack on him, and it wasn't a physio who was doing that. That sort of,
that's true too.
It makes me think that actually, it's more precautionary, which, like I said, all eyes on that. Some stuff with some overplay as last week as well. We saw a little bit, some inconsistency in terms of the exit strategy, but we scored 2 tries, 2 pretty good tries as well. Quite happy with the actual sort of build up to the tries as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, what were your thoughts? Summarize that.
So I'm thinking about how many clean breaks we had in this game. The 2 big clean breaks we had, we scored, which is great because we need that kind of confidence, because we saw many times we lose opportunity. We saw how many times even against Romania we didn't score. This time we scored through 2 big line breaks, which is great, amazing. On the other side, we have to be more clinical when we go into their 22. Think about the first 3 entries; they weren't so good. Nemerok, I'm not so worried. We have 2 weeks ahead, maybe 3, in case he needs. And well, we are trying. We are trying to play our style of rugby. You can see it. We are kicking more. That's the big point.
Yeah,
we kick more and better in general.
Yeah. And like we said, I think that's obviously something that we need to work on massively. We've got players now that have the capability to damage other teams, with our kicking game. And it's interesting to see how well Alan is playing at fullback. I've been really, really impressed by him, to be honest, because again, not his natural position. He's had a couple of testers which have been up in the air, and he's done really well. And that beautiful offload to Capuozzo, where he took up the 2 defenders, and for the second try, fair play. There's a lot of good as well in terms of how we've exited. It's been probably what we've been trying to achieve, and it's been slightly more precise, and that's what it looks like when it's precise. Because both tries have been from disorganized defense, right? So yeah, I'm quite happy with 17-11 at half time. I think the boys will probably start looking at the forward slightly more in the second half, but yeah, I'm really chuffed with that. I mean, I suppose a question for you would be, what do you want to see in the second half? What do you think we need to do? What do you want to see from us?
Second half can be interesting to see. First of all, 20 minutes of mix it up. If we need, I want to see in this game Marcello coming in. Varney it play a decent game. We saw sometimes some mistakes around some racks that we cannot lose in that way. Think about the hardest game we're gonna see during the World Cup. So that maybe is accuracy on the in the breakdown, something that I'm expecting. I'm expecting 20 minutes, maybe also half hour Pagerello in.
Yes.
And I want to see Pettinelli, how feels Pettinelli, but it depends where the changes are gonna come, because then we're gonna have 2 weeks off, and maybe we want to ensure our the victory in some way. So maybe let's see 20 minutes more with the same team, and then the change I'm gonna arrive. Maybe 3-4 together.
That, just watching back that try from the highlights, obviously Capuozzo on the left, Varney on the right, as the support line, but Garbisi did incredibly well to step out of those
Absolutely.
2 tackles. What do we think about Fiji? Are they going to get to the quarterfinals?
Who?
You go first. You go first, Otto.
Man, I love Eddie Johnson, Australia. So I always hope he's gonna be the guy who's gonna bring Australia to the quarterfinals against all the odds. But I like a lot the other day to Danilo to Dampat. I was thinking, what the coaches that I like. I like Maizashvili from Georgia. I like Simon Rawalui for Fiji. I didn't watch the game. You watched the game. They look solid in every area of the field. That's probably the big difference. More accurate in defense, organized, but still the Fiji flair. The lovely way they play.
And I think as well, right? Like the Drua team has come at the absolute perfect time because it's given them the opportunity to develop more cohesiveness, like before the World Cup. And I think that's always been something that's the Pacific Island teams have struggled with because they've got players playing at a high level in different leagues, but typically it's for different teams and, like I said, different leagues. And there's always like that settling in time where they have to bed in and they have to learn new attacking shape and like sort of wash away 13, 14 different clubs that they might represent and trying to get rid of that. And I think the Drua has obviously provided them with an opportunity to, first of all, align with the Fijian head coach and probably play in a certain way, like we saw with Treviso and Italy this year. Zibre, I should say as well. There's been sort of elements where you could see what they've been doing has transitioned to the national team. So Fiji, I think teams are going to take them far more seriously, and I don't know what the ramifications of that's going to be in that pool, because maybe they thought that was a team where they could rest a few players. I don't think that's the case now. I think everyone needs to go full strength against Fiji if they want to win.
It is, bro. Let's just remember a couple of big games. Like, remember that Wales Fiji of 2 World Cup ago? It was like one of the crazy games in history. Yeah. So many fights. But let's go back to Italy because I see a couple of good comments. Rugby, are you at the stadium? Are you at Monigo now? I don't know if I reach you before through the comments, but the stuff with Samuele. Our backs were top notch this first half. Hats off for all of them to now. We didn't give them an opportunity. They scored through one set piece move, one set move. And what else, Mike? I'm going to watch again where and what kind of penalty we left in the field in our 50 meters area, let's say, because they kicked from there. So let's see how we can be more accurate there. But a good work, and Robbie add to this. It is just me, or today everyone is doing a good job. Still mistakes here and there, but I can't single out someone to be clearly playing poorly. So everybody are raising the bar. And Robbie's not there. I'm sitting at home a few miles. So he's there. So face purple crying. Oop. So
Robbie's point where he says we are still a bit late with clearing rocks on line breaks.
We're saying that, right?
Yes. And again, that's something where we can probably talk about till the cows come home, but that's something that we traditionally, as our Italian team, we need to get sort of more instinctive with the line breaks and when to commit people into rocks and stuff. I think we're still so tentative about when potentially making mistakes that we're maybe losing opportunities in attack for if we can recycle the ball quicker, because teams are very, very good at playing the ref nowadays, and we tend to get the bad rub of the green on some of those 50-50 decisions when they've been slowing it down. So committing to the ruck is just a really like clean way of getting quick ball and setting for the next attack. So yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Wow. So second half, some changes. Let's just remember which are our player in the field. Oh man, I'm almost forgetting we have Paolo Dogu to see how he's going to react in the second half.
Yes.
Paolo Dogu. So we have Bigi, Fischetti, Ceccarelli, Dino Lamb, Pettinelli, Zuliani back, the Kraken, like with Carbo Rugby said, not the Kraken, release the Kraken.
Yeah.
So here we have a couple of Krakens, couple of little monster, mostriciattoli, we can say, in the
Yeah. I think
in
we'll
the
see
back.
Ruzza off early. I think just
For
because
Lamba,
for
maybe.
Lamb. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see sort of how, thinking about it, I don't know how like fit Nicola looked like afterwards, but I think we'll probably see that just because we don't want to risk Ruzza before the World Cup for sure.
That's true.
Yeah, Vitor, very good point there. So Vitor says this team is probably one of the few that is used to playing at a faster pace than us. So our rucks look slower than usual. I'd like to see some stats about it. I'm sure, obviously, Mr. Statman over here will probably do a deep dive.
Absolutely, probably tomorrow night. So I'm gonna just anticipate tomorrow night, live a modo in italiano, ovviamente on YouTube. On YouTube, there's gonna be good stuff going on. So, guys, we're gonna see also the last game of Japan. So we're gonna see together what they're gonna show in their pool, and we're gonna see Italy, of course, and the stats. The stats are a little bit different, Vito, because the website, the official website, the Summer Series Nation series is not uploading the stuff anymore after the Romania game. So I'm gonna use all the stats and my stats, of course. Give us the 2 minutes, of course. Mike, Rugby, which is one of the Patreon, is another stat man.
So perfect.
I'm not alone in this world. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So
I think you know what. Just in terms of like that point Vidal made as well, with like the ruck, like recycling of the ruck and
speed.
like yeah. It goes to show sort of how impactful it is at like in the 22 if you're efficient at it, because obviously I don't think they've actually entered our 22 all that often, and yes, they've every time they've come in they've opted to take the points after scoring that try to try and sort of break.
They tried the sticks and they didn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just opted to kick for the points as opposed to like going for it. But they've been very efficient with how they've like cleared out in R22, and yeah, maybe that's something for us just to look at in this in the second half. Hopefully, that's been spoken about as well.
Let's see here. Italy just coming into the field now, and I saw the Japanese in a circle.
Got the ball again. Okay, let's have a look at that. That looks like a beautiful kick.
Boom!
Lovely kick. That was stunning. Right,
good.
Now we need
Pettinelli.
to like charge it down. Like let's make sure they don't score here. That's what I want to see here. Just nice and clean. Oh no, that's lovely from them. Japan are going to be a handful this World Cup. Like I know they haven't had that was forward and that was and it's the pace boy.
It's the pace boy. Le rapide, la vitesse. E vamos,
Boom. Boom.
Oh, right. Abbiamo chiuso I giochi. Stop. Look at Zani, how happy it is there.
Boom. All right, we'll take that. We'll take that all day long, right?
Nice. Martin Pagerello. So let me change the banner and let me write.
We'll take that. We'll take that all day long. Right, wait a sec. Don't. Let's not risk it. Okay, let it go. Let it go red first. Let it go red, then change it just in case. You never know. They might pip it at the end. Score, 23 points in the last
guy's
minute.
Fast.
He's fast.
We gave 20 points, 21 points. We doubled them at the end of the party.
Yeah.
Seems like we eat the steak, they eat some zucchini, and they're paying the bill. That's great.
Right. We'll take that. 42-21. Well done. Guys, keen. Phantom.
I'm writing, so just give me 1 second to.
Right.
Let me see. Let me read. Today we're really happy. Finally, let's face Italy. This is a huge win with a change of pace from the bench. That's true too. They help us. So, regà, io vi devo parlare in italiano, poi ne parliamo. Mike, because here we have to speak about also how the game was approached by this team. So anyway, we're gonna have time for big analysis on it.
Yeah.
Mauro, non ti preoccupare, in an half hour probably I'm gonna go live on mine too. But end of the game, Mike.
Yes, right.
Here we are. We won 42, Italy, Japan 21, with a stunning performance by the Italians at the moment, with 2 tries in the last 5 minutes, something that we are used to receive against. Think about Blair Kinghorn. This time we shut down everything. We end the game. 3 tries from Ioane. Your thoughts?
So, first of all, I think we saw what we wanted to see, which was a building up on last week's game. So last week's game, right? We needed money in the bank. We needed a bit of confidence, and that is what happens when the boys have a bit of confidence. When Stephen Barney's enjoying his rugby. When we're seeing the players who have had a little bit of stick in the past being able to express themselves. That's what we wanted to see, and that's what you want to do just before World Cup. You want to build into it. Obviously, for me, kudos to Monty for scoring. Like, that last try was pure individual brilliance, and there's kudos all round. But in terms of the overall performance, right, it's an improvement on last week, because as we said last week, that performance wasn't going to be good enough against the tier ones, and we've just played our tier one, a tier one team after playing Romania, and that little bit of confidence we've gained, we managed to put 42 points on them. So, really happy with that. I mean, what are your thoughts? You content with that? Do you think, obviously, strive for perfection? There's always going to be stuff to improve on, but what are your thoughts on that?
Your thoughts? We won, and that's great. I don't think anybody's gonna say, "Oh, we won," but we know, and there's gonna be time for analysis, breakdown situation. But we kick when we had to kick in the first half to keep them pressure there. Defense was pretty good during the whole game. Maybe we're gonna ask Leo, which is the defense addict guy, Leo Mattoch, about the Italy defense. But and then in general I saw good moment of Italy, good plays, but there is a lot more to do. We can be even more accurate because we didn't commit so many mistakes. Like as Samuele was saying, only 4 in the first 60 minutes of the game, which is a really low stats for us. We want to keep that down, and we want to score from line breaks.
Hey, we can kick.
And we can kick.
We
have kickers. So we're going to see more kicks, of course. We're going to see a different chase of the players too. But the back three worked pretty well.
Balance
Mike.
is nice. Balance is really nice.
There.
What I want to say as well, I just want to touch upon Japan, because Japan, in fairness to them, watching their previous games, they hadn't been playing particularly well. They've been struggling. That Japan there were very good. Like, credit where credit's due. They were very, very good. They play some really nice rugby, like we know of Japan. I think, at times, they almost suffer what we've been suffering of, and that's just lack of consistency and accuracy, overplaying, all of the stuff that we've been guilty of, the past season. But they could potentially hurt a team or two. What do you think?
They can, because at the end of the day, with nothing, they were still there trying to create something, and they also they can attack from a slow ball and create a quick ball, so they have opportunity. Thinking about for example, England's game for Japan, that can be an opportunity if they fix the physicality of England. If they're gonna be there, with the physicality, with a team better than us. Speaking of physicality, maybe they can do something better, and then everything is open. I'm sure they have more tricks to show, but today they weren't able to because they had some issues with the line out, some maul, some situation in multi-phase. We defend properly. Couple of great jackals. One from Zuliani, we said, one in the first half, too. So that part of our game can improve, and Japan can do more too. So they have to be aware. And apart, Scotland won 33-6 against Georgia. That was winning at the end of the first half 6-0. So today, Georgia.
That goes to show sort of, first of all, Georgia are a good team. I think, let's caveat everything we say with, that fact. Georgia are a good team. It just goes to show, right, first of all, Scotland are a very good team. And I think they're probably being underestimated by some of the Southern Hemisphere, fans. I think, they could potentially hurt a lot of teams, first and foremost. Secondly, it goes to show the bench, how important the bench is, especially at tournament level. We showed today how important our bench was. And again, no disrespect to Japan, because I think they're a fantastic team. But what we had on the bench, think about who we had: Fischetti, even
Zuliani, Pagerello, Odogu, Pettinelli.
I mean, they're what I wanted to see is us questioning who is first team players in an Italian team, because we've never had that luxury. We've always been, we know who our starting 15 is, and then we know where the depth, where our depth is, and potentially where there's a bit of a drop off. Now, coming up to the World Cup, I don't think we know that. I don't really know who our starting loose head is, because it's different horses for different courses. I don't really know who our starting scrum half is, because each one has their own strength. That's what I mean. Like, we're in a point now where we could play like a team, and I'm like, that's the first team. And the following week we could play a completely different team, and I'm like, okay, that's the first team. So yeah, I'm really,
everybody
really
are aligned.
Happy. That's it.
Yeah,
I mean, sorry, go on. What?
No, it's the right way to say bye to our supporter in Italy.
Yeah.
To say bye also to Kieran Crowley, because well deserved also the organization of the game. If we kick in that way, there is some freedom to the players, or some strategy and freedom to the players to decide where and what to do. So I think that was really massive for us. Low level of injury maybe from Neymar, so hopefully it's gonna be better the situation there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna read this message because I love it, guys. I hope you can run commentary for as many matches as possible during the Rugby World Cup. Truly enjoyed this. Vito, help us growing the channel, because we are on Twitter and on YouTube. Of course, really well Rugby Got Shot, but we are growing with Fratelli Rugby to give you more and more contents like this week, 3 podcasts. This podcast, like the resume of the game, is going to be out tomorrow, I think, tomorrow night. It depends how busy we are, me and Mike, cutting everything. But we are there. Yeah. And next week, Mike, who's going to be with us? A player that was in the field, right?
That's right. That's right.
Today
Yeah, I'm excited by this one. Obviously, our mystery guest, we quite like playing on this. So feel free to guess who this man is.
Yeah.
What I'll say, as a bit of a hint, very, very passionate man. Always wears his sleeve on his chest. Very emotional. If you get this player in that mindset, he's an absolute gun. So and
it's really funny too. It's really funny guy.
He is. So yeah, next week's obviously a big week. We got 3 podcasts out this week. For those of you who haven't been able to have a listen, we'll put our little tree link in. In fact, actually, I'll do that now for you guys, so you can have a little listen. There's like we said, Toa Halafihi. We got last week's coverage, a bit of a recap, and Leo Matocha, who was kind enough to join us. So I will pop that in the chat briefly. But yeah, Otto.
Well done. We won.
We won.
So thank you, Japan, for the effort. Thank everybody. Pincetti from Monigo. Hello from Monigo. That's great. Pincetti.
Hi, Pincetti.
Bella partita. Pincetti fa caldo a Monigo oggi. Well.
Yeah, Pincetti on the beers.
Yeah.
Have one for me.
Well done. Well done. Well, guys, I hope to see you again for the next game, next live podcast. Who knows? And we can just say that we have a lot of new contents for you, not only in the World Cup, but also during the URC. We are trying to do the best to give you a lot of good stuff, speaking about Italy rugby, Italy franchise, Italy players, rising stars, and everything we can. We just need you to follow, share, comment, subscribe. Very hot, very hot.
So nice. We've got watch this space. Like Otto said, I think we've got a plan set for what we want to achieve after the World Cup as well. After we win the World Cup, but we've got plans, and we're looking forward to getting as much content out to you guys. And again, thank you so much for all the support, all the engagement. I think it means quite a lot, to us, and it definitely spurs us on. So thanks to everyone, and also look out for Otto's channel. If those of you guys who, I'm sure most of you are, but have a look at Otto's channel. Obviously, a lot of content in Italian, and we're probably going to be growing a lot of that out as well with the podcast. So
happy to see you, Mike. See you next time.
Yes.
So see you probably tomorrow. Let's chat a little bit later.
That's it.
But that's all, folks. So see you next. Listen Fratelli Rugby Podcast. Ciao ciao e ci vediamo alla prossima. Forza Italia, forza Fratelli di Rugby.
Ciao a tutti, grazie.
Ciao.